Springtime in the Czech Republic can get a little violent. I mean, I've already told you about the burning of witches and the drowning of goddesses, and I don't know if you've heard, but they whip the women. Mostly young girls. And with the frosty, miserable winters that we get around here, can you really blame them? Well, lucky for us, there's another more lighthearted Czech tradition that takes place during the spring called Matějská pouť. Pouť. You think the erž is hard? Try a soft T. Pouť. Pouť. Matějská pouť is St. Matthias or St. Matthew's pilgrimage. It's Europe's first pilgrimage of spring, right here in Prague, and it attracts almost 1 million attendees a year. There are only 10 million people in this entire country. It's a massive 6-week-long event filled with rides and games and sugary treats. It's the stuff that Czech children's dreams are made of. But like most lighthearted Czech traditions, this one has a darker origin, dating from hundreds of years ago. In fact, this year, Matějská pouť will celebrate its 428th anniversary. I can't even do that math. Back in the year 1595, there were a lot of sinners. Everyone was sinning, unlike today. Thankfully, there were a few ways a person could take care of their sins. Obviously, confession. But that didn't always do the trick. Back then, a very enterprising provost named Jiří Breitenberg, who apparently was also working for the Prague Ministry of Tourism, had an idea and proposed it to the Pope. The Pope obliged and declared a plenipotentiary indulgence for any pilgrims who visited the Church of St. Matthias in Prague. And an indulgence is basically the Catholic equivalent of a clean slate. And the people came, year after year, for centuries, with the only exceptions being a short period after the Battle of White Mountain back in 1620, and for a dark period in modern times, which shall not be named. Over the centuries, as the Czechs became less concerned with their mortal sins, and more concerned with how to survive a Czech winter, they started asking St. Matthias to break the ice. Literally. He's the patron saint of breaking the ice. That could really help me out at parties. Every year during this pilgrimage, St. Matthias blesses the trees so that they bear plenty of fruit in the spring. And being the patron saint of construction and, oddly, confectioners, he blesses the builders and vendors of the St. Matthew's Fair. Makes sense to me. And the pilgrimage became a fair. Not an affair. That's still a sin. Czechs. Originally, the fair was held at the church in the Hanspolka neighborhood of Prague. But as interest grew and bigger crowds came, the fair had to find bigger and bigger venues. After a few years of trying out different locations around Prague, Matějská pouť eventually landed at Výstaviště Holešovice in 1963, which has become its home ever since. On weekdays, the entrance to the festival is completely free. On weekends and holidays, you'll need to buy a ticket, which you can buy online. Each ride, attraction, or game will cost you a few crowns, with the most expensive usually being the catapult at 200 crowns. The fair runs until April 10th this year, so don't miss it. Uvidíme se příště. Ahoj!
So they named this right after basically a NASA mission where everything went wrong. They had a 1% chance of making it out alive.